Hello everyone. This is week 2, and like I promised earlier or before I started this, I could only do videos in the weekend because I work during the week. So bear with me on that. So this week's video or lesson is going to be on transactions. So on the transactions, it's going to show us how to enter all our transactions, our expenses, our sales in a particular month. How to know at the end of the month if we are making profit or if we're making loss, or at least averagely. So this is going to be here. If you have any question on this, please go ahead and leave it right down under this video, or just leave it in the WhatsApp group so I can answer it before the next lesson, or I will answer it in the next lesson before whatever it is that I have planned for the next lesson. Also, okay, this is a little bit, I don't know how I'm going to say this. So I got a DM from someone asking if I could tone down my, my words so they could understand me better. So in this video, I tried as much as possible to kind of pigeonize my my words. I would rather people to be comfortable, understanding what I say than not understanding at all. So we are here to help each other. And if I'm able to do that, I would rather I do it in a way where you all can understand what I'm saying. And I will try as much as possible to be as slow as possible so you can understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I know I go a little faster, and my words, my words comes faster, and you won't, and people are not able to understand what I say. So in other words, I get you, and I will try as much as possible to go as slow and as easy as you all can understand me. Anyways, apart from that, I think everything is good. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. I will be glad to answer your questions. So I will see you in the next lesson, and also we can let's get started into today's lesson. So in this week's lesson, what I'm going to do is we're going to start entering our expenses and sales and bills. And before I start, I have to first create a column for the sales and a column for the expenses, and a description. So just come along with me so you can understand better what I'm trying to say. So I have opened a worksheet right here. So that is a worksheet that I've opened here. So first, I'm going to start from column B. I usually always leave the first column open. So I'm starting from column B, and at the same time, I always leave this first row open, which is row number 1, open. So here, I'm going to start from column B, row 2. So what I want to put here is the date. I have written here the date. So the next thing I always like to do is to also put a description of what I want to enter. So on up here, I'm going to write description. Then I'm going to press enter, or I can just move it. Oh, see, the spelling is wrong. Bear with me here. Then I'm going to leave this row here. Then I'm going to this column here rather. Then I'm going to go to the next one. Then I'm going to put sales. Then I'm going to leave this next column here. I'm going to move to the next, which is G. So I'm going to put expenses. And the reason I'm doing this is just so I can have enough space to understand what I'm doing, and also to see clearly what I'm entering. So I have put a description and a date and sales and expenses up here. So I have already written down some expenses. Then I'm going to start here. So I'm going to leave another row right under here. I'm going to leave it open just to give me more space so I can see clearly what I'm doing. So here I'm going to write, let's say on the 3rd of May. So I'm going to write May 3. On the 3rd of May, Okay, here is what another thing. So here, even though it's 3rd May, because I didn't format the cell to show me how I want my date to be recorded, it's showing me this. But that is okay. Only if you want to learn how to format the date, I can show you, but that could be maybe in another lesson. But let's just get to this particular lesson. So I have right in here May 3rd. So on May 3rd, somebody came to my store to buy maybe, let's say, a can of milk, or it could be anything. But this is just a description. This is just something I just picked up randomly. So I would just write one milk, which means one can of milk. So how much is one can of milk cost? I'm just going to put a random amount here, and I don't want to go with the big amount or the exact amount. Let's assume it's 50 naira. I know, just forget about the cost, okay? I know this is not exactly how much it's cost. I just want to use it for lesson purposes. Let's say it's 50 naira. So I put 50 naira in sales. It's not expenses because I'm not paying somebody. I'm receiving money. So I'm putting it on the sales. I put enter. It has entered it for me there. On that same 3rd of May, another person came in to buy, let's say, a bottle of minerals. And they actually bought two bottles of Coca-Cola. So I just wrote it down there in the description. And that is part of sales too, because I'm collecting money. Money is coming in for me. Let's assume two bottles is, I'm just going to put a random number, 200 naira. Enter. On that same 3rd of May, let's say May 3, I realized, oh, the rent for the my rent for the store that I am is due. So I have to pay my rent money, and it's due in May. So because that is an expenses, because I'm paying money to the people. So here in the description, I'll just put shop rent. Then I go enter, and instead of going in sales, because I'm not collecting money, I'm paying money out, I'll have to put it in expenses. Then I'll put, maybe my shop rent is 300 naira. So I'll just, let's say 500 naira. 500. So are you getting what I'm doing here? So maybe that's just all what happened on May 3. Now we want to go to another day. I'm still in May. So maybe May 4 was a Sunday, so nothing happened on May 4. But May 5 is a Monday. We have some things that that came in. May 4, nothing. So because nothing happened on May 4, I don't even have to put anything down. So here, I don't even have to put May 4 because nothing happened. So I'll just go May 5. On May 5, in the morning, I realized, oh, I need to take a transportation. I have to go and pick up some rice. I have to go and pick up a bag of rice that I'm supposed to sell in my store. I woke up in the morning, I chartered a taxi. So that taxi, I have to remember that that is part of my money too. It's part of the shop money. So it's not my personal money. I'm chartering it to go and buy bag of rice, which means it's an expenses. You have to remember that. Transportation, when it has to do with your shop or your business, is an expenses. So transportation to buy rice. It's not sales, so I have to go. I'm just using my arrow to the right to move this arrow to move this cell. So it's an expenses. So I'll say transportation to buy rice. It's 100 naira. So I'll just put 100 naira right there. Transportation to and from buying the rice is 100 naira. So on that same day, another thing happened. Maybe I realized my electricity bill is due. I have to pay electricity. I'll just put May 5. I'll just write electricity or NEPA bill, whichever one you want to write. So I'll just put it's an expenses because I'm taking money out. So electricity bill, let's say it's 80 naira. So I'm just putting it in expenses. So unfortunately for me, that day, all I just did that day was just to pay money, which means I didn't sell anything that day. So the next day is May 6th. On May 6th, I got to the store. There was already a customer waiting for me, and this customer is a baker that loves to bake food. So they'll come in to buy a big bag of sugar. It was a good day for me. So they are buying sugar, and it's a big bag of sugar. And now let me just say one bag. So here, remember how I told you, because I want to write on top, I'll go up here, then I'll put one bag. See, that's how I was able to adjust that cell. So one bag of sugar, and that is sales because I'm collecting money. So that one bag of sugar, maybe it's a big amount of money. It's like maybe 300 naira. So I'll just put 300 naira. And I'll just put it right there. So these are examples of how you put your expenses in for a particular day. I don't want to go too much into it so I can save much time explaining some other stuff. But if you want me to go more, I can definitely in another video maybe add some more. When I got done doing all this now, sometimes what I do is, so I'll come all the way down here. See, I have enough space here between here and here. Here, I'll just write on the on right here and right here. Those are where my totals are going to be. In the description, if I come all the way down here, I'll put total, Total. On that total column, see I'm moving arrow right. So under the sales, how do I do the total of all this? So when I put my cursor here on this cell, if I want to do the two different types that I show you of how to calculate a cell or how to calculate a row, is either I put equal, then I start going this plus this plus this. You see, you can omit all these lines and just go and pick whatever you want to pick. And what did it give us? Then I go enter. That's 550 naira, right? But if I don't want to do it that way, I'm going to give you another easy way to do this. So let's delete this row. I am going to go put my cursor right back in that cell. If you go up here, you see this right here? That is a summation symbol. So it automatically sum up whatever range that you want it to sum up. I'll always use this. So if I click on it, you see it has already highlighted some space for me here, but I have to let you know where all the place I want it to add for me. So I want to start it from here. Then I want it to add it up to here. And I will tell you the reason why later. So if I go enter, you see, it's already added it for me, 550. The reason why I did that is, you see all these cells right here. So just hold on, let me just quickly add something here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's say on May 7, I sold a cup of rice. 1 cup rice, okay? Then when I sell, it come under sales. So that 1 cup rice cost me 100 naira. So I put 100 naira. So look at this. So the 550 is going to change automatically. See, let's go enter. See, it has changed to 650. You know why? because of that addition that I did, because I've already added all this row up to right here. And that is why it did that. When I enter all my stuff, let's say I got up to here. I've been entering all this thing in, and I see that I don't have any space between the total and the expense that I put in here. I'm just going to do another example. Let's say on May 2029, something happened too. Maybe I sold one bread, and for 30 naira. You see that there's no more space for me to add another thing in case I sell another thing that day. What I can do then is, if I go on here, I'll make sure I highlight the whole row. Let me do it again. If I put it on this cell, it's not going to highlight it. But I have to come on this. You see how it's changed? When it's right here, it's plus. But when I move it to the corner right here, it goes arrow. There's an arrow right there. So I have to like click on that arrow. Then it highlight the whole row. So I'm going to right click on that row. Then I'm going to say insert. If I click on insert, it has already added one row for me. But I can add as much row as I want. So if I go insert, it's adding another row. You know what is happening? It's not only adding another row, it's also the format. Remember the summation format, because I already chose that row up to here. So any row that I add before this last row, because I'm adding it in between here, it's already added it into that format. Let me click on it. Look up here. So what it's doing is it's adding, which is sum, row E4. So this is E4, which is right here. See, 4, right? So it's adding row E4 to E22. So it's going to add 4 to 22. You see? The new row that I added in the between already comes in between. Does the advantage of doing that summation thing. So if you're summing it, make sure you sum it up to the a cell before the total cell. So whenever you're adding new lines, add it before the last column, before the total line. So it will automatically add all that in between. If you don't understand it, let me know. Leave a comment right down below, or leave a comment in the WhatsApp group, and I will answer it for you in the next lesson, the first thing before the next lesson. So that is that. I'm going to do the same thing to the expenses row. So on the expense row, I will come here too. Then I'll click on that sum, because I already click on the row that I want the total of the expense to be. Then I'll go here and click on that sum. You see, it has already highlighted some stuff for me. So, but I want to start it from up here. Then I want to go all the way here. Then I'll click enter. And here is what I have. Also, it's 680. So that is how to enter sales and expenses. So there's one thing that is called profit and loss. Let's say on the 15th of May, on the 16th of May, something happened again that I have to buy. I have to buy some stuff. Maybe maybe something is leaking in the shop, and I have to hire a carpenter to come and help me fix the window or the door or something. So I just put carpenter. So I'm paying the carpenter that came to repair something in the shop, and I'm giving the carpenter 600 naira, because that is an expense. It's coming out of my money. So that's 600 naira. Here is what we have. Now we want to see, I'm just going to put right here, I'm going to put P&L, profit or loss. So how to determine profit or loss? If that month, as at the 29th of May, are you making a profit or are you making a loss in that month? So here is how you can know how. So from here, I will just say equal, because you want to go starting from your sales. How much did you sell? How much did you sell? Which is the same thing like how much did you make that month? So I make 680. How much do I have to pay out to people? So which means that minus expenses. How much do I have to pay people? So I'll click on that total line for expenses here, right? Then I'll go enter. So this is showing me I'm making it, this is minus 600. So this is telling me that I'm making a loss of 600 naira on that particular month. So I'm just going to stop here for now. But before I go, let me just show you a little, some fancy way of adjusting this row. What I sometimes do, just to make things fancy, I will just highlight here. So I'm going to drag it up to here. So if you look up here, this says, you see that scale right here. If I click down on it, it will tell me if I want to put a line anywhere. So I want it to put a thick box border, which means it's going to border up the highlighted place that I highlight. Okay, it has done it. You see what it looks like here? So which means if I want to just make things fancy a little bit. So another thing that I can do, or that I like to do also, is that on this date, I'll highlight from here. I'll go all the way to here if I want to. Or actually, I can stop here. So I'll choose how I want to line it. I don't want it to line the whole place. I just want it to line this one line here. So I just chose right border. I'll click on it. You see what it did? So the same thing on the description here too. I can do the same thing to make it right border. And it has done the same thing. So on the sales, I want to make both right and left border, but you have to do it once at a time. So I'm going to go right border, then I'll go back again and do left border. You see it? It's up to you. It's just me trying to be fancy here. So I'll do the same thing, left border, then I'll go again and do right border. Okay. What I want to do again, this right here, I want to make it bold. This is just me trying to be fancy, so you don't have to do this. See, I made it a little bolder so I can see my my totals. And if I like, I can actually highlight this place and color color this highlighted row. I can just put a little fancy color in there. So easily I can just quickly see how much I'm making, if it is profit or loss. And I can do the same thing to this row too. I can put it in another color, maybe orange. So anytime I just look straight into this color, it shows me if I make it, what I'm making for that month, if it's loss or profit. And if I look into this blue color, it will show me how much sales I have and how much expenses I have. So that is what I have today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And you can leave the question right down below, or you can put it in the WhatsApp group. Then I'll be glad to answer your questions for you. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how you can change these sheet numbers, because what I do in my own personal place is I use one sheet for 1 month. So I'll name sheet 1 May or January, or whichever month you want to start with. Then I'll also name sheet 2 January or February or something, something like that. But I'm going to show you how to do that in the next lesson. And another thing that I'm going to show you in the next lesson is how to copy this whole thing here into the next month, so you don't have to keep doing the same thing all over again when you get to next month. So it automatically copy everything that you have and every formula that you have from here to the next month. Okay, so we are going to do that. What we're going to do again next week, hopefully I get to that, is how to write down your inventories. Remember, when you're doing a profit and loss for the year, you have to know how much do you still have in the store. If you have 50 bags of sugar in your store, and in the month of May you sold 2, remember, you still have 48 bags left, right? So that 48 bag that is left is part of your profit. So you will add it to your sales. So because you may be looking at this profit and loss and be like, oh my God, why? Why am I losing 600 naira? But you always forgot that you still have inventories. So that sugar that is remaining is part of your sales, is part of your gain. That rice that is still remaining is part of your gain. That milk that is still remaining is still part of your gain. So if you really want to do that, you have to add that to your sales. That will give you the exact thing that your shop is worth. If your loss for the whole shop is this amount, or your gain for the whole shop is this amount. Then we are going to go to inventory. So I can just kind of tell you how you handle your inventory, how you enter your inventory and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, or if you have anything you want me to do or add, let me know later, or let me know in the comment below. So thank you all for coming in here. Like I said, I can only be doing this every weekend and uploading it on a Monday because, I work too. So I'm just using my little time that I have to explain things to you. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the group. Bye for now.